All right, so Saturday night, Alex Pereira shocked the world, depends who you ask, by going out there and flatlining Magomed Ankalaev in 80 seconds, okay? Went out there, destroyed him, wiped the floor with him, flatlined him. It was a massacre, one-way traffic, whatever you want to call it, right? It was that easy. So now he's back, solidified as one of the biggest names in all of the sport, and without a shadow of a doubt, the man will be in the Hall of Fame, and he wants to be a 3-weight division champion. We talked about this on yesterday's video.
This guy has been an absolute stud for us. He doesn't care. He wants to fight everybody. He wants to move up to heavyweight. He's a dream to have in this organization.
However, there's a lot of people calling you out. When you become the man, you become the man to beat. When you're the champ, people want to fight you. When you're one of the greatest of all time, people want to fight you.
Surprise, motherfucker.
When you're looked at as someone that potentially has a flaw in their skill set, a weakness to be exploited, basically, when Khamzat Chimaev looks at you and says, this guy can't wrestle, okay? He's going to want to fight you because Khamzat Chimaev is calling out Alex Pereira. Let's take a look at the tweets. So here's Khamzat Chimaev. Let's scroll down. 875,000 followers. He says, I am ready to fight you at heavyweight. You won't find a super fight. I think he means you won't find a bigger super fight than our fight. No chama. This is smash everybody. And then, of course, we see a picture of Khamzat Chimaev at the White House. Okay. I don't think Chimaev gets it. I think for the Independence Day celebration, 1776 and all that jazz. You know, Americans always say that to me all the time. 1776, like English get offended. Like it's really like, ooh, it's a sensitive subject for us. It's not a sensitive subject at all in the slightest. And most people in the UK don't know what 1776 is. Anyway, regardless, I think the idea of the White House card is to have a lot of Americans. And of course, what they want to have is at the White House, a lot of Americans fighting non-Americans, because that's the idea. That's the theme. So Khamzat Chimaev versus Alex Pereira at the White House doesn't really make a lot of sense. However, the fight does make sense for Khamzat Chimaev. He is the middleweight champion. He wants to go up and become a 2-weight division champion. Of course, that's the modern thing to do. That's what all fighters want to do. Of course, the man just won a belt. He just won a belt. He's a tremendous fighter. He's undefeated. He can wrestle. Probably as good as anyone that we've ever seen in the UFC. What he did to Dricus du Plessis was ridiculous, ridiculously dominant, but he's not American. And I don't think two guys like that at the White House is what they're looking for. Now, is it the biggest fight to make in all of mixed martial arts right now? Because let's be honest, Khamzat Chimaev is one of the biggest stars. That's a fact. Alex Pereira, without a shadow of a doubt, is one of the biggest stars in the UFC. And if there was anyone jumping off the bandwagon, if they were getting sick of the chamas and all the rest of it, they're not now. The entire audience was all chanting, chama, chama. Oh, everyone's doing this all day long, you know what I mean? There's going to be t-shirts of it and all the rest of it. The man's a legend of the sport. It's as simple as that. You put Alex Pereira and Khamzat Chimaev in an octagon together, that's going to sell a lot of pay-per-views. That will be one of the most watched fights that the UFC has ever done. And that's just a fact. But are we likely to see it? Absolutely not. No way. Alex Pereira doesn't want that fight. UFC probably doesn't want that fight. The White House doesn't want that fight. Okay? And Khamzat Chimaev, at this moment in time, respectfully, doesn't deserve it. He only just became the middleweight champion of the world. And he did it in very dominant fashion. And I'm a huge fan of the guy. But you got to defend the belt a few times first. You don't just become the champ and then get to jump around weight classes and all the rest of it and immediately get to become the double champ. Yes, Conor McGregor did that. But Conor McGregor was... well, he was the biggest star in the sport. And Khamzat Chimaev might just be the biggest star in the sport. In fact, that's actually an interesting one. Who do you think's the biggest star right now? Conor McGregor or Khamzat Chimaev? Let me know in the comment section. By the way, who do you think the biggest name in mixed martial arts is? It might still very well be Conor McGregor. Whether or not you like to admit it or not, let me know in the comment section what you think. But it is either Alex Pereira, Khamzat Chimaev, or Conor McGregor. And the fact that it's still Conor McGregor, the fact that it's still a question even after all these years, I mean, listen, That's crazy. I mean, that is something, and you got to say fair play to the guy. Whether or not you like him, whether you dislike him, the fact that he's remained relevant at this sport for so long and become such a cultural phenom, I mean, you got to tip your hat to that. Simple as that. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. Alex Pereira has been asked about Khamzat Chimaev, and this was the response.
Obrigado pelos parabéns.
Thanks for congratulating me, but all I want is a super fight. I want to fight at heavyweight, but all I can say is thank you.
Now, when you look at the fight, I do think that Khamzat Chimaev would provide a lot of problems for Alex Pereira. Just stylistically, the man can wrestle, and Pereira is a Brazilian kickboxer. Yeah, Pereira's a lot bigger, but Khamzat Chimaev's not small for 185, and certainly he will be able to beef up. He's very fast. He's got the cardio to dominate for 25 minutes, as we saw, and that's something that Khamzat Chimaev has fixed. But in the comment section or on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, he's getting a little bit of abuse. So here he is. He said, hold on, let's just drag this down. He said, I'm ready to fight you in heavyweight. You won't find a super fight than our fight. No charmer. This is smash everybody. Right? Okay. Here's what people had to say. Kevin wants this fight so badly. Right? But then everyone else, you'd get whooped. Khamzat will get 1080 by a stomach bug while trying to bulk to heavyweight. We know what you want, but we don't want to watch you hump his leg. Khamzat barking loud for a man one punch away from a nap. Yeah, look, listen, Pereira's got that power. It could be one and done, or it could be one takedown for Khamzat Chimaev and done. Trying to rage bait Alex by saying no charmer. Anyway, you get the gist. Go win an Olympic gold medal in wrestling. Nobody wants to watch you cuddle for 5 rounds anymore. And so you get the general gist of that. Now, that does bring up a good point, because while Khamzat Chimaev has been truly dominant in a lot of his performances, and certainly when he became the champion, it did turn a lot of people off. The way that he held Dricus du Plessis down, I think it was something like 24 minutes of control time, and not really going for the finish. Yes, he was trying to choke him out, but he wasn't taking risks. There was a lot of people booing in the crowd, okay? So I think because of that, people don't want to see Alex Pereira get taken down like that. Pereira provides excitement. Yeah, granted, last time, the first fight against Magomed, bit of a snooze fest. Wasn't a good fight. And yeah, okay, he said he was at 40%. And that looks kind of right. By the way, let's just talk about this really quick. And you might disagree. Magomed Ankalaev has come out and said that he wasn't at 100% in the fight. Well, his manager, Ali Abdelaziz, did, okay? And that's a fair point, you know? If we're going to give, you know, if we're going to let Pereira off the hook because in the first fight he wasn't at 100%, who's to say that Magomed Ankalaev wasn't at 100% or wasn't injured? And my point coming into this is that anytime any fight starts talking like this, I kind of roll my eye, my one eye gets rolled to hell, okay? Because we're never at 100%. We're always injured. That's the hard part about mixed martial arts. Training for these fights is very, very taxing on the body. That's why now, at 46, with a ton of injuries, 3 neck surgeries last year and 2 total knee replacements, I would entertain a boxing match. But a mixed martial arts fight, you've got no chance. All that rolling around on the floor, all the grappling, all the jiu-jitsu, all the submissions, all the wrestling, everything. It's a nightmare, right? It is a recipe for getting your body injured. I couldn't get through a training camp. My body wouldn't take it. But a boxing match, no problem. As I say, the point is, we're never at 100%. So anyway, there it is. What do you think about that? Khamzat Chimaev wants to fight Alex Pereira. Do you think that's the biggest fight in all the sport? Would it be John Jones versus Tom Aspinall at the White House if that fight was ever to materialize? If Tom Aspinall can get through Cyril Gane in a couple of weeks, and that's a big if, right? Tom's the favorite, but it's not guaranteed. Nothing's set in stone. Mixed martial arts, one shot, and certainly a heavyweight, anything can happen. To be honest, I think whatever fight they put on in the main event at the White House will probably be one of the most watched fighting events, sporting events of all time. The numbers are going to be through the roof. So it doesn't necessarily matter what they put on. People are going to tune in. Almost every single American is going to watch the UFC at the White House. That is a spectacle of spectacles. You simply have to watch as an American, as a non-American, as an MMA fan or not. You're going to tune into that. So regardless of what it is, you're going to put it on. But are you going to put on Alex Pereira versus Khamzat Chimaev? Or are you going to put on John Jones versus Tom Aspinall? Dana says he doesn't trust John Jones to do that.
But would you be okay with him like coming back and potentially winning that belt again? And you might have to go through.
Well, it's not even about him winning the belt. I mean, you know how I felt about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong.
So anyway, I'm rambling on. There is the video. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Is Khamzat Chimaev versus Pereira the biggest fight that they can make in mixed martial arts right now? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell. See you soon.